Before we dive in, I created a school online on school, SKOOL, called Mindset Reset. Go ahead, check it out. It will help you go through, basically manage your emotions, how to know the pause, how to see your patterns, how to go through them instead of consuming them. Now, I'm going to go into a topic concerning pain. Secretly, you love pain. I'm not talking about the physical pain, I'm talking about emotional pain. But before you try to get at me and yell at me and say, no, I do not love pain. Yeah, you do. Because if you did not love pain, you will take action to stop the story from happening over and over. You say you want abundance. You say you want a better life. You say you want a house. You say you want a car. You say you want financial freedom. You say you want peace. You say you want to stop worrying. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting all these things. There's nothing wrong with it. But then what happened next? Nothing changes. You complain about it to everyone. You talk about it to anyone that would listen, or you to yourself too. You have the whole conversation to yourself. And you have it over and over again. And there is nothing wrong with continuing that loop. But hear me out. Just speaking about it without doing anything about it will not change the loop. So, ask yourself, what am I doing about it? Because after you complain about it, then you start blaming. Because you realize complaining didn't work. So now you start blaming the economy. You start blaming your circumstances in your life. You start blaming your parents. You start blaming your ex. You start blaming your boss. You start blaming society. You start blaming anybody and anything around you, even your kids. And here's the tricky part. Blame feels good for a moment. Because if it's not your fault, then you don't have to do nothing about it. You don't have to change. You don't have to, it's not your responsibility to do nothing no more. It feels good. You don't have to face yourself. So the blame becomes comfortable. It becomes familiar. And familiarity became your home. Then someone says to you and point out the fact to you, because they shouldn't have done that. They brought you to the light. You were in the cave all this time. In the dark, you were in the cave. You were having a fun time. And I pulled you out of the cave and I shoved you in the light. Now I'm telling you what's contributing to what's going on with you. And your immediate response is going to be, no, that's not what I want. This isn't the life that I want. Why would I want a life like this? Why would anyone want a life like this? And maybe you're telling the truth. Maybe you don't want a life like this. But your actions are speaking louder than your words. You're still watering the same tree. Your actions are still not lining up with what you said you want to do. That is the part that hurts. Because until you see the wound, you will remain inside of that loop. Until you see the pattern, nothing will change. And after a while, you become comfortable in the discomfort. Not because it feels good, but because it's familiar. You know it, you understand it. You've lived it for years. It starts feeling normal. It's like you buying food. You know it tastes bad. but you spend your money, you purchase that food, so you're going to eat it anyways. And that's the same thing that goes for your pain. You know it doesn't taste good. You know it isn't nourishing your body. You know it isn't helping you grow. But you've invested so much time into that story that you continue to eat it day after day, year after year. So the question isn't, do you want to have something different? The question is, what actions are you taking to change that situation, to change that loop? Because whatever you feed will grow. And whatever you keep feeding long enough eventually becomes your reality. So be honest with yourself, not from judgment, not from being harsh. Just be honest. What are you feeding? And is it actually helping you or keeping you stuck? Peace, love, light. This is the Phoenix Voice 74. Welcome to your remembrance.